All right, before we get started, here's what you're going to do. You are going to take your cell phone and you're going to download the Pro Pick'em app, and you're going to go ahead and make your weekly picks with me because I need some competition out there. Right now, I am just making my picks. I am just winning my picks. Right now, I don't know, we got like 9, 10 heads in the league, and I'm running all over them. So somebody out there, you better start giving me some competition. Download the Pro Pick'em app. The league you want to join is SayWhatchaLike, and the password is NFL 2020. Go ahead, download the app, make your picks, join the league. As it's can't be nothing but fun. I mean, come on, it's the NFL. We got to do what we got to do these days to entertain ourselves in the quarantine. Anyway, so before that, I gotta admit, looking at the Pro Pick'em app, I got off to a little bit of a slow start. I took that hard L to start my week off on Thursday Night Football. The New York Jets fall to the Denver Broncos by a score of 37-28. I figured I'd take the Jets in this thing because Sam Darnold, he's showing that at the very least he's a gritty young quarterback. I mean, he's playing behind a porous offensive line that's having trouble protecting him. I knew that. I knew that, and I think I just forgot that Adam Gase is completely inept as a coach. If it wasn't for Peyton Manning and him being Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator, I don't even think he'd have a damn job in the NFL. So I kind of forgot that, but hey, it is what it is. I figured Denver, had a lot of injuries. I figure Melvin Gordon kind of messed his career up, and he ended up in Denver, and he wasn't going to get his feet under him yet, and he had a big game. I figured they were starting a first start ever quarterback, Ripien, I think it was, and he beat the Jets. The Jets are the Jets. Adam Gase, and because of that, I took a hard L. But I expect to do a lot better on my Sunday games. So let's go over the Week 4 picks right now. Let's do this real quick. The first game is the Indianapolis Colts at the Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears are 2.5-point underdogs at home. Now, Chicago is the first 3-0 team that's switching a quarterback up. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky must have been on a very, very fucking short leash, right? I mean, because this coach is gonna go forward with some of that Foles magic. Foles is one of those quarterbacks that I mean, seemingly every locker room he's in, he's very supported by the fellow players in the locker room. They might rally around this guy. This could be a 12-win team with Nick Foles. With Trubisky, we're kind of thinking, maybe this could be an 8, maybe 9 wins if, Trubisky plays out of his mind. But who knows now? This can be an 11 or 12-win team, the Chicago Bears with Foles. But we'll have to see how that ride, ends up, where that ride takes us in 2020, I should say. As far as the Indianapolis Colts, man, I was really, really high on the Indianapolis Colts at the beginning of the season. And then I saw Phillip Rivers kind of just be Phillip Rivers during week 1. And, I kind of began to have a little bit of reservation. But outside of a couple of boneheaded Phillip Rivers play, this team would be 3-0. So in the end, I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts over the Chicago Bears. And that's just the way I got to go. I got to think Phillip Rivers has cleaned it up. Yeah, they've had their injuries, but this is still a loaded team on both sides of the ball. Then that brings me to the next game. The Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals are favored by 3. That's basically what you get for playing at home, even during the pandemic, I guess. I guess they said they lowered it a little bit, but whatevs. The Cincinnati Bengals, right? This is the Joe Burrow show. That's all anybody can talk about in Cincinnati. Now, I think the Bengals are I don't know. I got to question their thinking a little bit because I think they are really, really depending on this young rookie quarterback. And so far, Joe Burrow hasn't cracked. I'll give him that. That kid has not cracked. He's shown a lot of grit. He showed a lot of determination as a rookie. I mean, they're trying to win these games strictly on the arm of this rookie quarterback. And I give him props, man. He's stepped up to the challenge, even if he hasn't gotten a win yet. And then you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who we thought, were coming into this season tanking. They made a lot of trades to a lot of the veterans on their defense. And we thought they were tanking. But Gardner Minshew is another one of those gritty quarterbacks that just proves that he wants to hold on to a starting quarterback spot in this league, And when you doubt him is when he seems to play his best. Either way, give me Joe Burrow. I've seen too many good things from Joe Burrow early on in this season. He's been right there. He's been really close to getting himself a couple of wins. He just hasn't been able to pull it off. I think he'll be able to pull it off against a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then that takes me to my favorite game, the game I'm looking forward to. The Cleveland Browns at the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 4.5-point favorites in this ball game. I really think that this can be a potentially dangerous game for the Dallas Cowboys. I just never know what mindset the Dallas Cowboys are going to take into every game. They are one of the most inconsistent teams in the league all the time. And I'm not even talking inconsistent on a game-to-game basis. I'm talking about inconsistent from a quarter-to-quarter basis, from a play-to-play basis. They just trip me out. They're my team, and I still can't figure them out. No matter how much you cover the Dallas Cowboys, I guarantee you have not figured them out. I don't know who will. Hopefully, it's Mike McCarthy. Either way, look, the Browns, they got a pretty mean defensive line with guys like Myles Garrett. You got Richardson on that defensive line. And right now, with an offensive line that's ailing, I just hope Tyron Smith will end up playing this game for the Dallas Cowboys. I believe he will. He's missed the last 2 games. It's time for him to show up, show out, be that Pro Bowl, all-pro left tackle that we've known him to be for the last decade. And I think if so, I think this game will go the Cowboys' way because I don't see the Browns really trying to rely on Baker Mayfield to win a shootout. They're going to try to win with this running game. The Cleveland Browns have one of the strongest running games in the league. Some of the most underrated runners with Hunt and Chubb. As long as the Cowboys, who have been pretty solid against the run so far in this young NFL season, I have no reason to believe they won't be up to the challenge. I think they'll stop the run, and I think once you do that, this game really will begin to start to favor the Dallas Cowboys. Give me the Dallas Cowboys over the Cleveland Browns this weekend. And then that brings me to the next game. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Detroit Lions. The Saints are favored by 4 points on the road. I'm taking the New Orleans Saints. I know everybody's got their questions with Drew Brees and the strength of his arm. And Detroit, I love Matt Stafford. I always have. I think I always will at this point. I'll always be a believer, I guess. But I just think New Orleans, you know what? They're not the team we thought they were going to be heading into 2020. But they're still a much better team than the Detroit Lions. Give me the New Orleans Saints. Then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Tennessee Titans. That game was actually postponed due to a few of the players contracting COVID-19. So that game will be played at a later date. I went with Pittsburgh, but I guess I'm going to have to make that pick and cross that bridge when we get there. Then we have the Seattle Seahawks, 6.5-point favorites at the Miami Dolphins. Miami is another gritty team. Ryan Fitzmagic always seems that. This dude's still a starting quarterback in 2020. Think about that. This dude's been a starting quarterback in this league for well over a decade. It's just Fitzmagic. Somehow, some way, he survives. He's like a cockroach. He's like the cockroach of quarterbacks in the NFL. Lots of big-time quarterbacks have come and gone, and somehow Ryan Fitzpatrick is still a starting quarterback in the league. And from time to time, he pulls a game or two out of his ass. And I can see that happening here. But, Russell Wilson's just playing out of his mind. Right now, after 3 games, he has my vote easy for MVP. The defense, they're not quite that same defensive team that they used to be back in Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll's, first stint with the team, or earlier stint with the team, not first. But, I just think the Seattle Seahawks are just going to be too strong for the Miami Dolphins. Give me Seattle. Then we have a pretty interesting game. The LA Chargers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Bucks, they are favored by 7 points, a whole touchdown. I think this is a dangerous game for Tampa Bay. They're coming into this game with a lot of injuries. I don't know the status of Leonard Fournette at this time. I heard, he might not play, and I think that's really going to hurt Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady needs a good running game at this stage late in his career. The Chargers, though, too, they're no better. That team's just on defense. They're riddled with injuries. You don't even know who's in and out of the lineup on defense. Half the guys are hurt on IR, things like that. But somehow they've been another one of these gritty teams that just have refused to go away. They played the Bengals tough and got a win at week 1. They almost pulled off the upset with Herbert on the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, no, I don't think anybody saw that coming, I guess, unless you're a Chargers fan or you really follow the AFC West and know that the Chargers usually play the Chiefs tough, but they almost got the job done. But in the end, look, Tampa is in Tampa. I think if this game was not in Tampa, I may have gone Chargers, but on this one, I got to go Tampa Bay. Then the next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Washington Football Team. The team with no name. A team has no name. Game of Thrones reference. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. They are favored by 13 freaking points, man. That's a lot. 13 points. Washington, I don't think they're a talentless team. I think this will be a good game. But there's no way that Baltimore's going to step on that field unmotivated. They got whipped by the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson called the Chiefs his kryptonite. So he's going to have to bounce back. I think they will. They're well coached. Harbaugh's just, I mean, he's just one of the good ones in this league. He's one of the good ones. He's going to right the ship. Baltimore's going to handle business against the team with no name. Then you have the Arizona Cardinals favored by 3.5 at the Carolina Panthers. Kyler Murray, man, is going to Kyler Murray. Give me the Arizona Cardinals in this one. Carolina, I mean, I keep saying the same thing over and over, but that's another gritty team. They don't lay down for anybody, but I just don't think they can pull off the win against Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's looking like Michael Vick 2.0, like a miniature Michael Vick out there, making big plays, throwing, running, and I think he's really at ease with his college coach, and I just see more success on offense, especially for this Arizona Cardinals team. Give me Arizona. Minnesota, which are 4.5-point underdogs, traveling to the Houston Texans. These are two teams that probably had a lot higher expectations going into the 2020 season. The Minnesota Vikings did have a few key losses on defense. The Houston Texans kind of botched that whole DeAndre Hopkins deal. I don't know, whatever. And I think it's really hurt the morale of those teams. And however, somehow I don't know. Call it a feeling. I think the Houston Texans are going to pull this one out. I know I should go Minnesota. I think Minnesota's probably the better team overall on paper. Probably better coached. But I just don't see the Houston Texans going down 0-4. I think that's more reserved for a team like the Minnesota Vikings. Then we have the late games. We have the New York Giants at the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Los Angeles Rams are favored by 13 points. Another team Vegas thinks is just going to be a freaking blowout. And so do I. I think the Rams are a tough team. They're going to want to bounce back after a tough loss to the Buffalo Bills. Really should have beat the Bills. There was kind of some questionable plays, some questionable calls. I seen the Rams up close during week 1, playing my Cowboys. I think the Giants, Danny Dimes, he'll make a good play here and there. He'll flash a little potential. But with no Saquon Barkley to back him up, and just eventually he'll become Danny Fumbles and he'll give you the game. He gave that damn game away to the San Francisco 49ers halfway through. He didn't want it. And San Francisco is a good team, and they obliged, and they took the win, kicked his ass, So give me the LA Rams in that one. And then the next game would be the New England Patriots at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are favored by 7 points here over a Bill Belichick coach team. And that's the way I see it. I think Kansas City is a much better team than the New England Patriots. They're better on offense, and guess what? They're better on defense too. And no, they're not as well coached, but in that area, Andy Reid is no slouch. He's seen Bill Belichick before. Everybody knows Bill Belichick's coaching scheme. They say it week in and week out, year in, year out. He will make you fight left-handed. He will take away your strengths and what you want to do to beat opposing teams and make you fight left-handed. Well, there's just one problem when you play a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. They're ambidextrous. Their offense, their defense, they're ambidextrous. They will get it done. They have a multitude of weapons. They can hurt you in a myriad of ways, in the air, on the ground. Any way they want to do it, they will carve you up, and they will carve up Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots this Sunday. And then I have the Buffalo Bills, which are 3-point favorites at the Las Vegas Raiders, man. The Vegas Raiders. They really, I was thinking that John Gruden was turning it around. The first 2 weeks, that tight end Waller. But they got a lot of injuries. They're slowing down. Looks like the Raiders are coming back to earth, and it looks like Josh Allen is trying to really prove his mettle as one of those top-tier quarterbacks that nobody's really talking about right now. Not yet. But I think after they get the win against the Las Vegas Raiders, we're going to be talking a lot more about Josh Allen. Give me the Buffalo Bills. And then we have just a terrible team. The Philadelphia Eagles at the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers have been destroyed with a myriad of injuries. I mean, Nick Bosa, their star defensive end, rookie defensive end last year, defensive rookie of the year, I believe. I mean, just was really the second best player on that field in the Super Bowl. He went down amongst a lot. I can go on and on about their injuries. But with all that being said, this is the Philadelphia Eagles here. And Carson Wentz, man, he's just not playing well. He's missing wide open receivers. I'm seeing balls being thrown into the dirt. He's missing easy pitch and catch throws. And I just think it's a mental thing at this point. It's up here at this point because he has the talent. There's no ways around it. I've seen him make some beautiful throws that I couldn't believe that anybody outside of maybe Patrick Mahomes could make on a regular basis, and he's made them. He's just been inconsistent, and he's starting to go from inconsistent to more consistently bad these days, and that's not the direction you want to go in. He's got to pull his head out of his ass, and he's got to do it soon. But I don't think he will. The San Francisco 49ers are a well-coached team. They're still a team that's fighting in a very difficult division, the NFC West. That's a tough division. They're going to have to keep up, and you do that by winning the games you're supposed to win, by beating a team that's slumping like Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me the San Francisco 49ers to take the win. And then that takes us to the last game of the week, Monday Night Football. Are you ready for some football? It's a Monday night party. But this game, I don't think it's going to be that good. That's the thing. I don't think it's going to be that good. You got the Atlanta Falcons at the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are favored by 7.5 points here. Aaron Rodgers has proved that Jordan Love needs to sit his punk ass on the bench. Young man, go get me my coffee. Go get me my Gatorade, and that's what you're going to do. And you're going to hold that clipboard because I am going to tear this league up in 2020. That's what Aaron Rodgers has been doing. I have no reason to believe that the Atlanta Falcons are somehow going to turn it around, and even they may have a 50-point lead, and that will not rock my faith on this pick either way because they're good at giving it up. That's what the Falcons do at this point. They know it. We know it. Their coach knows it. Their owner knows it. And I think after they lose to the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football, if they should blow a lead, it will be even worse than if they just got blown out in the beginning of the game. I think this could be the game that cost Dan Quinn his job. And I really think the Atlanta Falcons are a very talented team. I think Matt Ryan is a very underrated quarterback. I really expected them to be playing a little better, but obviously, just like Carson Wentz, they have not gotten over those mental woes in their head. And that's why I got to go with Green Bay Packers over the Atlanta Falcons. So those are my Week 4 picks, people. Again, please download the Pro Pick'em app on your phone. Make the picks with us. See if you can beat me in my weekly picks. And you got the advantage because you know what I'm picking ahead of time when you sub up to the Say What You Like Sports podcast right here on YouTube. That is Week 4, guys. We will see if I continue my hot streak or if this Jets game was just the beginning of a bad omen in Week 4. Peace out, everybody.